There comes a moment in every man's life when he realizes that strength isn't just in the muscles, in the voice, or in the image he shows the world, but in the silent discipline he carries inside. And today, if you're listening to this, I want you to stay with me till the end, because what I'm about to share isn't just advice. It's a reminder that can change how you love, how you grow, and how you protect your own peace as a man. Because a man must always hide three things from a woman, no matter how deep the love is, no matter how strong the connection feels. Not out of secrecy, not out of fear, but out of wisdom, maturity, and self-respect. A man must protect the chaos inside his mind because the world often expects him to be the pillar, the calm force that carries responsibility without breaking. Inside every man there are storms, fears he never speaks about, pressures he hides behind quiet expressions, and doubts that visit him when no one else is watching. This chaos is real, but strength comes from managing it, not exposing it carelessly. When a man learns to guard his inner world, he gains control over his reactions, his decisions, and his energy. Women are deeply sensitive to emotional energy, and when a man expresses panic, frustration, or confusion too freely, it can create insecurity or imbalance in the relationship. That is why a man must learn to stabilize himself first. This stability doesn't mean silence or emotional suppression, but measured expression. It means speaking when necessary and protecting what must remain within. One of the most effective ways to calm the mind is by improving the body. Nutrition plays a huge role in emotional balance. When a man chooses clean meals, avoids junk that spikes stress hormones, and fuels himself with water, fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, his mind becomes clearer. A healthy diet reduces unnecessary irritation and keeps the mind sharp. Light exercises daily like walking, stretching, or simple home workouts also help him channel frustration and regulate his emotions. Physical movement releases tension that otherwise stays trapped inside the mind. Lifestyle habits also shape the strength of a man's inner world. Limiting toxic influences, staying away from constant negativity, and choosing peace over arguments builds emotional discipline. When a man prioritizes sleep, keeps his environment clean, and spends a few minutes each day reflecting silently, he becomes more grounded. This grounded energy becomes his shield. It protects him from breaking down under pressure and helps him show up as the stable, reliable, composed version of himself that others naturally trust and respect. A man must protect the chaos inside his mind because this inner world is where his strength, clarity, and direction are born. Every man carries unspoken pressure, silent battles, and hidden fears that he cannot always express openly. Society often expects men to stand firm, to stay composed, and to lead with confidence even when their minds feel overwhelmed. This is why maintaining control over his inner storm becomes essential. When a man allows every worry, doubt, or moment of fear to spill out, it not only weakens his presence, but also creates unnecessary emotional burden for the woman he loves. Women feel energy deeply, and if a man's mindset becomes unstable, it can shake the balance of the entire relationship. Protecting the mind means giving himself the space to process thoughts privately, to understand his emotions before sharing them, and to choose what deserves to be spoken and what needs to be handled quietly within. Strengthening the mind isn't only about mental discipline, it also comes from taking care of the body. When a man nourishes himself with clean, wholesome food, fresh vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, healthy fats, and proper hydration, his brain functions better, his emotions stabilize, and his stress naturally decreases. Avoiding junk food and late-night unhealthy habits keeps his mood lighter and his thinking clearer. Light exercise like stretching, walking, or simple daily workouts releases the tension that otherwise builds up inside and turns into mental chaos. A healthy body supports a peaceful mind. Lifestyle choices also shape a man's inner strength. Reducing negativity, staying away from toxic environments, sleeping well, and spending quiet moments alone each day give him grounding. These habits become a shield that protects his mind from becoming scattered or drained. When a man guards his inner world, he becomes more stable, more focused, and more capable of leading with confidence and calmness. No matter what challenges come his way, a man must protect the chaos inside his mind because this inner world is the foundation of his strength, stability, and identity. Every man experiences moments of doubt, fear, pressure, and confusion, but wisdom lies in knowing how to manage these emotions without letting them spill out in ways that damage trust or disturb the peace around him. A woman feels a man's energy more than his words, so when his mind becomes messy, unfocused, or emotionally reactive, it creates anxiety in the relationship. Protecting the mind doesn't mean hiding everything or pretending to be emotionless. It means learning how to filter thoughts, understanding which feelings need to be shared and which must be processed privately, and choosing the right time and the right way to communicate. A man who guards his inner world becomes more composed, more dependable, and more respected because he doesn't let temporary emotions control permanent decisions. This inner stability is deeply influenced by physical health. When a man fuels his body with clean, balanced meals, fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, healthy proteins, and enough water, his mind naturally becomes calmer and more focused. Poor diet triggers stress, mood swings, and mental fog, while a healthy diet strengthens emotional balance. Light exercise such as walking, stretching, or simple home workouts helps release tension stored in the body, which directly reduces mental pressure. Movement clears the mind and restores a sense of control. Lifestyle habits also shape the peace within a man's mind, reducing exposure to negativity, avoiding unnecessary arguments, staying away from toxic people, and maintaining a clean environment all create mental clarity. Good sleep and quiet moments of reflection help him reset his thoughts and regain emotional strength. When a man learns to guard his mind in this way, he becomes the calm presence people trust, the steady force that brings security, and the grounded man who leads with wisdom instead of reacting with chaos. A man must protect the chaos inside his mind because his inner world is where his strength, confidence, and direction truly come from. Every day he faces pressures he doesn't always talk about, challenges he quietly carries, and emotions he often handles alone. If he allows every fear, frustration, or moment of weakness to escape without control, it can create unnecessary stress in his relationships and weaken the presence he wants to maintain. Women feel emotional energy deeply, and when a man's mind becomes scattered or unstable, it affects the security and trust within the relationship. Guarding the mind isn't about hiding who he is, but about learning emotional discipline, understanding his own thoughts, and knowing when to share and when to manage things privately. A man who learns to protect his inner chaos becomes more stable, more dependable, and more respected because he shows strength in his ability to stay calm even when life becomes heavy. This mental strength comes from daily habits. When a man follows a healthy lifestyle, the mind naturally becomes more balanced. Eating a clean diet with fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and proteins gives the brain the nutrients it needs to stay clear and focused. Hydration keeps stress levels lower and improves emotional control. A light workout each day, whether it's walking, stretching, or a simple routine at home, releases tension and boosts positive hormones that calm the mind. Proper sleep restores mental energy and keeps negative thoughts from taking over. Daily discipline, like maintaining routine, organizing personal space, and limiting distractions, helps him stay mentally sharp and emotionally grounded. When a man takes care of his body, his mind follows. The more he strengthens his lifestyle, the more control he gains over the storms inside him. Protecting his inner world allows him to show up with calmness, clarity, and quiet confidence in every part of life. A man must protect the chaos inside his mind because his inner world shapes everything he does, everything he feels, and everything he becomes. Every man carries silent pressure that no one sees, the kind that sits on his shoulders from responsibilities, expectations, and unspoken fears. If he lets every thought pour out without control, it can create unnecessary confusion for the people around him, especially the woman he loves. Women are naturally sensitive to emotional energy, and when a man's mind is unstable, reactive, or overwhelmed, it influences the entire relationship. Protecting the mind doesn't mean pretending to be strong all the time, but understanding that inner discipline is a form of strength. It means processing emotions before expressing them, calming the storm within before letting anyone else feel it, and giving himself the time and space to think clearly. A man who guards his inner chaos becomes the kind of man who speaks with intention, moves with purpose, and reacts with maturity. Much of this mental stability comes from the everyday choices he makes for his body. When he chooses a healthy diet filled with clean foods, balanced meals, and proper hydration, his mind becomes clearer and more focused. What he eats directly affects his thinking, his mood, and his emotional balance. A man who avoids constant junk food and late-night unhealthy habits experiences fewer mood swings and less mental fog. Light exercise adds another layer of strength to his mental calmness. A simple walk, stretching routine, or short home workout can release frustration, lower stress, and create a sense of control. These small habits form quiet power inside him. Lifestyle plays a huge role as well. Reducing negativity, keeping distance from people who drain his energy, maintaining a clean environment, and getting enough sleep helps stabilize the mind. A few minutes of silence daily can bring more clarity than hours of overthinking. When a man learns to guard his inner world like this, he becomes calmer, wiser, and more grounded. He becomes someone who leads with steadiness, loves with confidence, and carries himself with a quiet strength that inspires everyone around him.